The morning sun spilled across the quiet streets as Daniel Walker held his son Ethan's hand, walking him up the steps of Lincoln Elementary. Ethan, with his messy blonde hair and oversized backpack, looked up at his father. "You'll be here after school, right, Dad?" Ethan asked softly. Daniel smiled, brushing his son's shoulder. "Always, I'm never far." Ethan nodded, comforted, and ran off into the school building. Daniel lingered for a moment, watching until his boy disappeared down the hallway. Then he exhaled, adjusted his faded work shirt, and headed toward the gymnasium, the place he cleaned every day. For most, Daniel was just the janitor. He swept floors, fixed lights, and polished the basketball court until it gleamed. Few people knew that once, years ago, he'd been a promising basketball player in college, close to a professional career before life forced him into a different path. Now, raising his son alone, this job was all he had. The gym was alive that morning. Students were gathering for practice. Basketballs thudded against the polished floor, and at the center of it all was Coach Jessica Monroe, tall, athletic, and dripping with confidence. She was respected, even feared by her players. Daniel quietly pushed his mop along the baseline, keeping to himself, but Jessica noticed him, her lips curled into a mocking smile. "Careful, everyone," she said loudly, her voice echoing across the gym. "Don't slip on the janitor's shine. He's working harder with that mop than most of you do in practice." Laughter rippled through the bleachers. A few students clapped, some whistled. Daniel's face flushed, but he kept working. Jessica wasn't finished. She strode closer, stopping just a few feet from him. "Tell me something, Walker," she said with a smirk. "Do you even know what a basketball feels like anymore, or is this mop the only thing you handle these days?" The crowd howled, phones tilted upward, recording every second. Daniel straightened slowly, his mop in hand. He met her gaze, calm but firm. "I know enough," he said quietly. Jessica's smirk deepened. She pointed straight at him, her finger nearly touching his chest. "Then prove it, right here, right now, one-on-one, unless you're afraid to embarrass yourself." The gym went silent. Students leaned forward, eager. No one had ever seen the janitor do more than sweep floors. Daniel's chest tightened. His mind flashed to Ethan, in class right now, not knowing that his father stood at the center of the school's attention. If Ethan could see this moment, what would he want his dad to do? Daniel set the mop aside. His voice was steady. "All right," he said, "I'll play." Gasps erupted. The crowd surged closer. Someone tossed him a pair of old sneakers from the storage room. He laced them up, his fingers trembling, not from fear of Jessica, but from the weight of what this moment meant. The whistle blew. Jessica came at him fast, dribbling hard, her movements sharp. She slipped past him and scored the first basket with ease. The students roared, cheering. She raised her arms, basking in the glory. "See," she taunted, "this isn't your world, janitor." But Daniel didn't flinch. He picked up the ball, dribbled once, twice, and suddenly something shifted. His old instincts stirred, his body remembered. He spun past Jessica, cutting through the lane with surprising speed, and laid the ball gently off the glass. It dropped cleanly through the hoop. The crowd gasped. 1 point turned into 2, 2 turned into 3. Daniel's movements grew sharper, his timing perfect. He blocked Jessica's shots, stole the ball from her hands, and landed baskets from angles no one expected. The students who had laughed were now on their feet, shouting with disbelief. "Where did this come from? Is he for real? I thought he was just a janitor." Jessica's smirk faded. Sweat dripped down her brow as she pushed harder, her pride on the line. But Daniel wasn't playing for pride. He was playing for something deeper. He was playing for Ethan. Even if his boy wasn't in the gym right now, Daniel knew word would reach him. Ethan would hear what his father had done. Point after point, the tension rose. The game grew fierce. The gym echoed with cheers and gasps. Final possession, game tied. Daniel held the ball at the top of the key. The crowd was dead silent, every phone raised, every eye fixed on him. Jessica crouched low, ready to pounce. He dribbled slowly, steady. Then sudden, sharp, he crossed over, stepped back, and launched a shot from beyond the arc. The ball spun high, hit the rim once, twice, and dropped through the net. The gym erupted. Students screamed, some jumped from the bleachers, others replayed the shot on their phones instantly, shouting in disbelief. Jessica froze, her arrogance shattered. Slowly, she straightened, breathing hard, and walked toward Daniel. For the first time, there was no mockery in her face, only respect. "You've still got it," she admitted, extending her hand. "Guess I was wrong about you." Daniel shook her hand, but his eyes weren't on her. They weren't on the crowd either. In his mind, he saw Ethan, his son, sitting in class, maybe doodling plays in his notebook, maybe dreaming about basketball. And Daniel smiled, knowing that when Ethan heard what had happened, he would feel proud. Later that day, when Ethan came running out of the school doors, his eyes wide with curiosity, students whispered around him. "That's his dad," they said. "The janitor, you should have seen him play." Ethan looked up at Daniel with wonder. "Is it true, Dad? Did you really beat Coach Monroe?" Daniel knelt, resting his hand on his son's shoulder. "It's true," he said softly, "but I didn't do it for them, I did it for you." And in that moment, Ethan's chest swelled with pride. His father wasn't just the janitor anymore. He was a fighter, a player, a hero. And the school would never look at Daniel Walker the same way again.